Hi, and welcome to the overview for VWinds Clarinets. Following the VWinds Double Reeds release earlier this year, we're very excited to show you the latest addition to our acclaimed V-Series. Just like the rest of the V-Series instruments, VWinds Clarinets are based on our harmonic alignment technology, which we call HAT. A hybrid of sampling and modeling that allows us to accurately reproduce and control the full dynamics of the instruments in real time, from the softest whispers all the way through to the most powerful fortissimos. VWinds Clarinets contains 8 individually recorded instruments, 2 B flats, 2 basses, 1 E flat, 1 A, a basset horn, and a contrabass. We recorded 2 B flats and 2 basses to offer some variety in sound between the most commonly used clarinets. Before we start explaining how it works, we first wanted to show you how realistic it sounds when played live, without any editing or programming. Here's our friend Simon playing an excerpt from a Beethoven quartet on 4 of these instruments. To show you how realistic and versatile the VWinds are, here are some quick excerpts where we'll switch back and forth between the real performance and what we recreated. We recreated these using only note ons, note offs, 1 cc for the air, and another for the manual vibrato. If you'd like to hear more of these comparisons, there are 14 on the product page itself, which is linked in the description. This is how powerful and versatile VWinds is. No need for articulations, no need for key switches, no latency, and virtually no footprint on your computer. Simply load an instrument into your DAW and you can capture the feeling of a live performance just by playing in real time. Or if you prefer to draw the notes in, it couldn't be easier. VWinds will respond to whatever you draw, to all 127 degrees of modulation and velocity. Just as with our saxophones, brass, and double reeds, we are confident in saying that, to our ears, and hopefully yours too, VWinds Clarinets are the most realistic instruments of their kind available today. Okay, let's dive into the instrument itself and its interface. On the front interface, you'll find the main controls. First, the vibrato. This can be set to automatic. Automatic depending on time, which you can control via the curve in preferences, and finally, manual. The manual vibrato allows you to mimic the diaphragm movement of a musician and replicate any vibrato extremely accurately. Second, the airflow, which controls the dynamics. And finally, the amount of reverb. Since we have two types of reverb, a simple impulse response-based one, as well as the virtual space, you can switch between two dials for this using the small menu. All of these have a MIDI CC assigned already. To assign your own, simply click on the small dot next to it and then move a CC on your keyboard or controller. The first panel is for mixing. We captured each instrument with 3 microphone positions, which you can see above the sliders. You can mix them however you like and apply 3-band EQ. If you'd prefer to use your own plugins for mixing, we recommend using only the first microphone position, with virtual mics switched off completely. There are 2 different kinds of reverbs. First, a standard convolution reverb with a wet-dry control, decay, and a few contrasting rooms to choose from. And second, the virtual space. The virtual space is basically a room simulation, which allows you to place the instrument in any position in a real room and to choose the microphone configuration that you prefer. It's also based on convolution, but it's specific to what happens in that particular room at that particular seat and using that particular microphone position. So it contains everything: the real reverberation, the phase, directivity, and EQ created by that room at that point in space to the corresponding microphone position. Here's an example of one of our demos with simple close mics. And here's the same thing using the virtual space. The Preferences tab allows you to take in-depth control of many more technical details, all of which are explained in detail on the product page at acousticsamples.net. This panel is almost identical to the one for our double reeds, but we've added two new features. The CC1 control has been upgraded specifically for this library, and it's a big improvement in terms of realism. When you increase the airflow, the instruments will respond not just in timbre and dynamic, but will now also include the micro changes of pitch that occur naturally when playing a real instrument. You can adjust the amount of this that you want to use, with 0% switching it off completely. This will be applied to our other libraries in the near future via updates. We've also included for the very first time the option to switch between modeled or real legato transitions. This can be selected in the legato transitions box in the bottom left corner. And as with our double reeds library, there are a huge number of options for customizing your sound, from note attacks, legato transitions, effects like flutters, natural variation in the air and pitch, how much noise you want to hear from the keys, how accurate you want the notes to sound in terms of pitch and tuning, how you want the vibrato to sound, from variation in speed to depth to volume, 3 options for round robins, you have control over the volume of individual notes, and you can even adjust the formants to completely alter the sound and character of the instruments. In the MIDI section, you can draw the modulation curve however you want, and there's also an ensemble feature for if you're programming in a hurry and want something automatically harmonized. For this, you can set a timing in precision, select a scale, the pitch difference between each instrument, and voila, a realistic sounding ensemble in virtually no time at all. We've added support for different wind controllers, like the UE and the aerophone, as well as basic keyboards. And finally, there are a few key switches used for special features, such as key noises, breath sounds, repeated notes, and small pitch bends, but these aren't needed to play the instrument. All of these features can help make a performance sound incredibly realistic and lifelike, and to enhance this even further, we've included a randomization option on many of them, so that, just like in a real performance, nothing will be played exactly the same way twice. If this is the first you've heard of our VSeries instruments, head over to our website and check out the other instruments in this series. We have saxophones, trumpets, trombones, oboes, English horns, and bassoons, and many more on the way. That's all for this video. You can get VWinds Clarinets today from acousticsamples.net. Thanks for watching.